At the start of this year, I made my obligatory annual 2024 goals video with the slight catch that I didn't really have any goals for the year because I was just not in the best mental state at the start of this year. But it is now summer and I'm in a much better mental state. I'm probably the happiest I've ever been in my entire life. Not even for any reason, nothing like specific has happened to like skyrocket my mental health. I'm just like very, very content right now. I just feel like every area of my life is like exactly where I want it to be right now. But the point is, now that I've got all of my motivation back, I would like to share with you guys my goals for the summer, because I always set myself like a lot of goals for the summer. I don't really use it as time to relax. I kind of just use it to work on my own projects outside of university. So in a way, this kind of is like the honorary 2024 goals video, just very late, 6 months into the year. Because to be honest, this is kind of the only time that I actually have time to fully be able to focus on my goals, because the rest of the year is just filled with schoolwork. So these goals are kind of just like projects that I want to like start this summer that I can then continue when I go back to university, but in like a smaller scale, if that makes sense. I have split this list into two different sections because the first half is like my business and social media goals, and then the second half is just like life self-improvement kind of goals. So let's get into it. Also, while we do this, I'm going to be sketching some designs for a new TikTok series that I have not started yet. In fact, the day that you are seeing this, first TikTok in this series will be going out tomorrow, so you guys are actually getting a little bit of a sneak peek here. But basically, I have these two little boxes and I have to pick one out of each one and I have to make that thing. So like the ones I picked out now would be a celestial inspired makeup look or a cottagecore inspired ring, stuff like that, and it is the most fun I've probably ever had in my entire life. Anyway, onto the actual goals. So first one is like a big umbrella term that there is like smaller goals within, and that is just to post consistently on social media. I know I am absolutely terrible at that, so that is going to be a difficult one, but I basically realized that like this summer is kind of the last chance I have to do social media full time. Like not literally, like that's very like pessimistic way of thinking, but in the sense that next summer when I have graduated and finished university, then I will no longer have a student loan and will therefore need to be making adult money. And I just don't want to get stuck in like a full-time job that I don't enjoy, that is like not related to anything that I'm interested in, just for the sake of like paying bills and stuff. So if I could get social media to a point where I am making enough money to support myself by next summer, then that would be the ideal situation. So, and then the smaller like breakdown of that goal is that I want to post every single day on TikTok. Originally my plan was just to post every day for the first 30 days, but I'm kind of coming up to the 30-day mark and like I'm having a great time and I'm not too like stressed or burnt out yet, so I'm just gonna keep going for as long as I can with that. Obviously I know at some point I'm gonna end up missing a day, or like when I go back to university and I don't have as much time anymore, then I'm probably not gonna be able to stick to that schedule as easily, but I at least want to post as close to every day as possible from like this point forward. Next is that I want to post at least once a week on YouTube. Realistically, I would like to post more than that, like 2 to 3 times a week, but I obviously, this is literally my first video back after like a giant hiatus, so I am just trying to like ease myself slowly back into it and being realistic instead of just like going 0 to 100. So we will be sticking with 1 video a week for the time being, but with room for improvement. And then the last one was that I just want to like start taking my Instagram seriously. I didn't really have like a plan for this until literally this morning, and I just had a whole like epiphany while I was on the way to yoga, which I will get back to. But I've actually kind of finally got a plan for what I want to do with my Instagram, because that is like the one platform that I've just never really had any kind of vision for, because in my head Instagram is the same as like Facebook. Like I don't really think of it as like a platform to consistently post on. I just think of it as like a place to keep up with like my friends and like people in my real life. But I would like to make it more of an official platform and actually like post consistently on there. I won't get into like my specific plan with my Instagram in this video, just because I want to make a whole separate video on like tips for starting on social media, and so I will include it in there. But I'm very excited about it, so go follow me on Instagram because there will be some new content coming soon, and I never say that. Next is quite a vague goal. It's just that I want to expand my business. I don't even really know what I mean by that. Basically, as of right now, if you follow me for a while, you know that I have a jewelry business called Stargirl Jewelry. It is on Depop. But the thing with selling on Depop, like as a small business, is that it doesn't really bring in new customers. Like the only people who really buy from you are people who have like specifically gone to find your account. You don't really get like random people being suggested your products, and so I am wanting to move to a different platform. I don't know which one yet. I don't know whether to like move over to Etsy or like make my own website from scratch or use like Shopify. I literally don't know. If you have any tips, advice on that, then please let me know, but I'm gonna do a lot of research into that. And then also as like a second half to this goal, I also want to expand like my actual product range, I guess, because as of right now, obviously I just sell jewelry, but I also want to start selling the other things that I make. I don't know, I make a lot of things, and so I would like to expand it to be able to include all of the things that I make rather than just specifically jewelry. But yeah, basically I just want to like research into what the best move with that is. Even if I don't like necessarily take action with it this summer specifically, I at least want to like have a plan in place and like know where I'm going with it. Next goal, you guys are going to be so sick of hearing me say this, but I am going to write a book this summer, but this time I actually mean it. I know that I've literally included this in like every goals video I've probably ever made, but genuinely, if I have not got a book out by the end of summer, then actually please like slander me, like actually brutally bully me in the comments, because there is literally no excuse at this point. Actually, technically there is an excuse. Basically, right, okay, story time. In the goals video that I made at the start of this year, I mentioned how instead of writing like one massive book including everything that I want to say, I instead want to write like lots of smaller books that basically each act as like one chapter of a bigger book, which is still what I'm doing. But basically the book that I was writing as like the first book in that series, I guess, was Loser's Guide to a Good Summer, which was basically going to be like the book version of my TikTok series where I basically share like bucket list ideas and like fun things and activities and stuff to do in summer. But then at some point during writing that book, I freaking lost my Apple Pen. Bear in mind, this happened like in a very stressful point of university, so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna not even look for it right now. I'm just gonna wait until summer. I'm gonna do a massive clear out and it's gonna turn up. It didn't turn up. So now I'm just gonna have to bite the bullet and freaking buy a new one, which is so annoying because I know that as soon as I buy a new one, it's gonna freaking turn up. Anyway, but ultimately it kind of worked out to be a bit of a blessing in disguise. I think it was the universe basically telling me to not write that book yet, because when I lost my Apple Pen, I was thinking, okay, I've kind of got two options here. I can either buy a new one and just like get the book finished as fast as possible and just like get it out even if I'm not 100% happy with it, but for the sake of it at least still obviously being summer when it releases, because obviously that's kind of like the main issue with that book. Or I could just move on to the next book that I was gonna write, which was gonna be like a university, like moving out for the first time kind of like survival guide kind of thing. Again, still do want to write that book at some point, but just not as my first book, because the issue with both of those books is that they're very time of year specific and also very specific to like a type of person. And so it made me realize that at least for my first book, I want it to be something that could be suitable for all of you guys and also available year round. So you could either get this book when it first comes out or you could wait and ask for it for Christmas. And so that is my plan. I've got a new idea for the book. Actually, technically it's not a new idea. I've had this idea for a long time. I was always gonna eventually write this book. I just didn't think it was gonna be the first one, but in hindsight it actually makes a lot of sense for it to be the first one. So I'm working on that book now. I'm not gonna give any hints about the title or what it's about, but it will definitely be up by the end of summer. I'm saying it now, I'm speaking it into the universe. And then the final goal for this section is that I want to have more like structure in my work week, which I'm actually already doing quite good at, but there's like definitely room for improvement. Now that Jack, my boyfriend, is working full time, I essentially use his work schedule as my work schedule, and so that's been working very well so far, because now I've actually got like specific designated time to do my work in. As soon as he gives me his rota for the week, I can actually start like planning out what I'm gonna do on each of those days. However, the one thing that I do need to work on, that's kind of like essentially the root of this whole goal, is that I really need to get to a point where I am a week ahead of content at all times. Because for example, right now I've got like today's TikTok ready to go and I've got tomorrow's ready to go, but then after that like I don't have anything. The reason that I want to get a week ahead of content specifically is because my like ideal routine, like my ideal weekly schedule would be Monday to Saturday would just be like getting footage, like literally just filming, and then no matter how it's spread out, by the end of Saturday I have got at least 7 TikToks worth of footage and at least 1 YouTube video's worth of footage, so that then on Sundays, basically on Sunday morning, I started going to yoga classes. I say I started going, I literally only went for the first time this morning, but I loved it and I definitely want to like make that part of my routine, which is my point. So I would go to my yoga class on Sunday morning, and then after the class finishes, I want to go to the cafe that is like connected to the yoga place and literally just edit for the whole day and like treat myself to lunch. That'll be the one like day a week that I actually like treat myself to a meal out, and literally just edit all of the content that I filmed for the entire week, get it all completely finished, scheduled, ready to go, so that then by Monday I can just go back to filming again. And so yeah, that is like my dream ideal schedule that I'm trying to get to. Even when I go back to university, I still hope to keep that schedule. We will see. So those are my social media like business related goals. We will now move on to my self-improvement goals. My camera is about to die, so I will change the battery and I'll be back. So the first goal in this section was just to actually start like consistently going to yoga classes, but obviously we've already kind of covered that. But that sort of goes into like the bigger goal of just being healthier in general. And I guess like more specifically, I just want to find ways of being healthy that don't make me want to die. Like, I want to be as healthy as possible, but I want to also enjoy my life. Like, food wise, I just want to find healthy meals that I actually enjoy instead of just like making burgers and fries and stuff like that. We also live like a 5-minute walk away from Domino's, which is very dangerous. And I don't know, I just want to like stop giving into my cravings so easily. Like, I don't need a sweet treat at the end of every meal as much as I want to. And then in terms of exercise, I just kind of realized that I just don't like working out in like the generic sense. I don't like going to the gym. I literally have a gym in my building that I can use for free as much as I want, but I just don't, because I just don't really enjoy that kind of workout, at least not like consistently. And so like I was saying, I started going to yoga classes because that's a form of exercise that I actually enjoy, that I actually get excited to do. And like walking as well, like I started going on walks like pretty much every day. And yeah, that's basically my whole point, is that I want to add healthy things to my life that feel like it's adding fun things to my life rather than like extra chores. Next goal is that I want to read more, which is very vague. I didn't want to put like a specific like number of books for this goal because that's not really what it's about for me. Like, I could have said that I wanted to read 5 books this summer or something, but I would rather build the habit of like reading a few pages of a book every day, even if I only end up reading like 2 books, instead of not reading all summer and then like reading 5 books in the last few days. I just want to start building some like healthy habits, and that is the one that I decided to start with. Next is that I want to work on my creativity, which, like, don't get me wrong, I'm a very naturally creative person, and if you follow me on TikTok then you know that literally like all I do is make things. But I mean it more in terms of like actually getting ideas, because I feel like I rely way too much on like Pinterest to give me ideas for things. So I want to work on actually like having my own ideas instead of just like taking inspiration from different things. Hence literally what I'm doing right now. Like, the whole reason I started this series was to like give me prompts that I actually have to then like come up with design ideas for, instead of just like seeing something on Pinterest and recreating it. There's literally like 3 people watching me through the window right now. I hate living on the first floor more than anything in the world. The next goal is that I just want to like reduce my screen time, in the sense that I kind of just want to, this kind of goes into the last goal, but I just want to spend more time in my own head, because like my worst habit is I always have like something going on in the background. Like, I'm never really just sat in silence. I always have either music playing or TV on in the background. Even if I'm not paying attention to it, I just always have some kind of background noise, and so I never really actually have time to think. And I feel like that is why I struggle with coming up with ideas, because I literally just never give myself the time and the mental clarity to. And so like I was saying, I've started going on like walks every night, and I try to like not listen to music while I'm doing that. I will literally go and just sit in a field and journal and just like be in nature and just think about stuff, and it's great, and it's literally like my favorite part of the day. So I kind of already started that goal, but I want to like definitely make that more of like a daily routine. Next is that I want to get back into spirituality. I mentioned this in my 2024 goals video about how I want to like start making some videos on spirituality and manifestation, all that kind of thing, but how my only problem with that was that I had just finished like an entire semester of like writing an essay and researching everything to do with manifestation, to the point where I was like so sick of it that I just like needed to take a break from it after that. But you know, it's been a good 6 months. I'm ready to get back into it, and so yeah, if there's any specific videos about spirituality and manifestation that you want to see, let me know. The next goal is actually quite specific. I feel like every goal on this list has been so vague. This one is actually quite specific, and is that I want to learn to screen print, specifically at the mills where I work. Basically, if you don't already know, I work as a video editor, social media manager kind of person for a podcast at Sunnybank Mills, which is where the Great British Sewing Bee is filmed, which is a little fun fact. And I think they're supposed to like start filming the new series in like August, September time, and so if I see them filming, I'm gonna fangirl so hard. Anyway, the point is that at the mills they also have like spaces and equipment that you can rent out, and so I was looking into it, and for a student they also give a student discount. You can literally rent like the whole screen printing equipment and whole space to do it for literally only £48 for a whole week. And so I know like very little about screen printing, so I definitely need to like learn what I'm doing first. But my ultimate goal with it is that I want to screen print my own merch designs, because I just think that would be so fun, and like instead of just like getting it printed, like I would like to actually make it myself, because I think that would just make it so much more special. So that is like a long-term goal. That is like next year kind of goal, but I would like to practice and actually like learn the techniques and everything now, so I'm like ready to do that next year. And then my final goal is that I want to just learn as much as possible, because I was thinking about it recently, how in school, like in high school, you would literally be learning like 13 different subjects. Like, even though there were a lot of subjects that I didn't enjoy, like I knew so much, and I just miss having knowledge about things, because after you leave high school it's like You have to pick one thing that you're interested in and you learn everything about that and nothing else, and I just think that's so dumb. And so I just want to teach myself random skills, because also I freaking had a Skillshare membership for literally years and I just do not use it enough, and so I'm literally just like wasting money. So I really want to actually like get my money's worth out of it, because it genuinely is so useful. And so I've got a bunch of courses saved on Skillshare that I want to start doing, and so this is another thing that I kind of want to add into my like weekly routine of like every day I fit in like an hour to learn something on Skillshare. Some off the top of my head like skills that I want to learn is obviously screen printing, as I was saying for the last goal. Another big one is investing, because I just do not know anything about like the stock market and everything, and I just think that would be a really useful skill to have, even if I don't like do anything with it right now. Like I at least want to have the knowledge for the future. And then I want to learn things like animating and different like sewing techniques, painting, just literally everything. Like I'm sure I will keep you guys updated with the different courses that I'm doing, but just in general I just want to like learn things because I miss actually being smart. So anyway, that is it for my goals for this summer. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know your goals in the comments, because I would like to have more inspiration, and I also just have missed talking to you guys, so please give me updates on your life. My cup of tea is cold, but that's okay. Also let me know any video ideas you want to see. Thank you for putting up with me during this hiatus. I promise I am back to posting consistently now. So thank you for watching this video, and I will see you guys next week.